because I really wouldn't want to go on a plane where everything is swirling and it's pitch black and lightning and fierce rain. And, you know, if they're making that decision for the safety of all of us, that's a good thing. A couple of people would go up to the counter. Poor woman there doing her job probably hears this kind of stuff and has to deal with this all day long, like people in retail do. And she was getting such an earful from people who were saying things to her like, how dare you, her, this woman, do this to me? How dare you do this to me? You are ruining my life.
Right.
I'm going to sue
Deliberately
you,
inconveniencing
you
me.
people. This is, and of course, making a ruckus where everybody else would hear it on purpose. Because we're living in this society now of everything is a hashtag and everything is a movement. So he's trying to drum up everybody. Everybody else was just sitting there, almost saying in their minds, I'm sure, lady, just sit down and relax. Look out the window. It's like tornadic weather out there. You don't want to be on a plane. So it was just interesting for me, because I study people like you do and the career I do, communicating, where I was getting a little aggravated. I always wanted to say, madam, please, for the safety of all of us, just sit and relax, because they're making a decision for all of the good of everybody, including the pilots and the crew, not to fly. But there were people who felt so entitled and like as if they were being targeted purposefully. And this woman behind the counter has nothing to do with the decision that's made. That was made at the top for the safety of everybody. Do you often look at people like that and say, gee, I wonder what their childhood was like?
All the time. I know what their childhood was like.
Because that's what I said. This person is spoiled. What a brat.
Yes. And again, another child may have grown up in the same home, but vicariously they saw their sibling behave in that way, and it was almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's, again, different effects, but all the time. And it's hard to not blame the parents in that situation, because and you almost feel badly for that adult child still behaving as a 5-year-old when he or she doesn't get his way, and that entitlement is so.
It must be hard for you to sit there and hear that and not want to say.
And I try to disarm, and that's part of just being a good therapist, is validation of how someone's feeling. You seem really upset, you know, and it's the smart and right thing to do. As a smart teacher of mine once said, wise teacher, you know, in terms of, we know that's going to de-escalate the person in the moment. You know, so you could actually reason if you can reason with that person. Some people, if you
Some
can't,
people, they just don't want to
you're
hear it.
rational, you're not going to be able to rationalize. So you know when to even try and when it's just going to fall on deaf ears. But in that situation where you hear all these stories now, airlines, and that they've even had to remove people from plane, you know, because their behavior is so disruptive, and just like in a classroom. So it does start in the home, and that's when parents, professionals in schools, you have to be aware of the individual effects on behaviors. And that even if, let's say that there was a faulty analysis of the situation, that it was clear, you saw out the window what the weather was like, right? You're not going to argue with that. You don't need, you know.
We don't need to be on that plane. We can
right.
wait.
That's not safe for any of us.